with another live stream, man. We are what 10 minutes away, 8 minutes away now from the official introductory press conference with our new head coach, Pete Carroll, and our new GM, John Spytek. Let me know down in the chat if you guys can hear your os loud and clear. I want to make sure that everything is going well because I'm still trying to get back into the swing of things, but on my end, it looks like it's on. So, first and foremost, man, I want to give a huge shout out to everybody that's up in the chat right now, man. We are here. We're doing our thing. Yada da me. I see I see my boy Terrell up in here. Nada. I see Ben up in here. I see Anthony. I see King 510. I see my Oos, Joe Morley up in the building, man. I'm only here so I don't get fined. Hey, that's a good reason to be here, Oos. That's definitely a good reason to be here. So, hey, man, you sure you ain't muted, Oos? Nah, I'm good. I'm good, Joseph. You guys can hear me, right? You guys can hear me? Oh, come on, man. Don't play with me. Okay, sounded good. Shout out to Bethel, man. We out here live, man. We got what about 55 people up in here live, but we're just minutes away from hearing from our new head coach and our new GM, man. It's been a crazy ride these last couple of days, man. Finding out who our next head coach and who our next GM was going to be, but you know what? I'm really excited about this new regime. I'm really excited about this new era, this new culture change here in Las Vegas. I know we've been saying this a lot with a lot of the other coaches that we've hired recently and all that, But I feel like Pete Carroll and John Spytek, I don't know. It just seems right for us. I think it just seems right for the Raidernation. It seems right for us, and with a lot of experience here and a team that really needs a culture change, I think this is perfect for our team, man. Let me get it. Let me hold on real quick. Let me get Gotta get the liquids in. You know what I mean? But yeah, hey man, to the chat again, man. We'll talk a little bit right now before the live stream actually goes live. I know that the Raiders always have these press conferences, but it's never on time. So that's why I was like, I'm gonna give myself some grace and just hang out with you guys. All right. Let's get into the chat right now, man. Okay. Oh, let's start it off real quick. Jose says, draft Dart, man. I'm with it, though. You guys know how I feel about Jackson Dart, but, not just him. Jalen Moreau is another guy that I would definitely love over here in Las Vegas. Even though a lot of people don't want him, I'm with it. But Jackson Dart, I know, seems like the consensus number one option at quarterback for the Raiders because we're sitting at number 6, and we most likely will be out of the race for the top 2 guys in the draft. Uh, 10 gauge says draft Shador Sanders, Pete. I think it's a possibility depending on if the Raiders really want to get Shador Sanders. If if that's the guy that they really want, I wouldn't doubt the Raiders at least trying to be aggressive and moving up in the draft and getting him. But I don't know how likely it would be for the Raiders. But also, Raider Nation, I do want to ask you guys, man. How do you guys feel about this move, man? Pete Carroll and John Spytek. How do you guys feel about their how they're going to be doing? How do you guys feel about what they will be doing over here in Las Vegas? Do you feel like they can actually turn this team around more than Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler did, more than AP and Tom Telesco did last year? And it's kind of crazy to me because just last year, we were going through this whole thing. We were all hyped up because we got AP. We paired him up with Tom Telesco, and we was like, you know what? A lot of things are going to change. And I'm not going to lie. I said the same thing last year because I thought we were definitely going to change the culture around here, seeing what AP did at the end of the year, year prior, ending off the season with a whole reset at the culture, with our culture, with the players, going into the locker rooms, having fun, doing everything like that. I thought that he was going to take that into last season. Obviously, that didn't happen. But we're sitting here right now, and I definitely seen that the inexperience showed with AP. Now we got a guy in Pete Carroll who, even though at his old ass age, he still looks like he could go out there and do some things at the end of, I don't know. I'm just get excited to hear him talk. If he goes out there and talks like, Joe Biden and just mumbles his words, then I'll be worried. But I feel like at the end of the day, he's a young 73-year-old. A lot of people try to give him slack for that. I mean, a lot of people try to, throw shade at him for that, but I still feel like he could come over here and really do his thing with this team. But yeah, that's just me, man. Shout out to the nation, man. He says first time we have proven winners. Exactly, Oos. And shout out to the nation. He's the one that made this hat right here. So if you guys are interested in it, man, go tap in with the nation. And also shout out to Dark Side, for the Leatherman, man. I appreciate it, Oos. This shit looks nice, Oos. Simone, we need to draft Shador Sanders. Hey, I'm with it, 10 gauge. You guys say that every time we get a new. Hey, D Filipino. And I'm gonna be the first one to tell you, That's absolutely true. I do say that because I'm an optimistic Raider fan at the end of the day, man. As much as I hate this team and as much as this team pisses me off year in and year out, I'm always gonna have some hope. I mean, that's the same reason why that's the main reason why I'm still rooting for this team after 20 plus years of losing. I just hope for those days to turn around, and when those days do happen, then it'll be worth it. But this is the first time I can actually say that the Raiders brought in somebody with a lot of coaching experience and with a winning background. I know Josh McDaniels had a winning background, but he was never a head coach and was never experienced to at least do something in the NFL as a head coach. And that falls back on me. And AP was inexperienced last year, but we all seen what he could do, motivating a team. And we thought that he was going to bring that energy into last season, and it just quickly derailed. And it's just crazy. It's just crazy because he brought in so many talented head coaches, so many coaches that has won, so many coaches that have taken teams to the playoffs in the building to help him lead this team, and yet we weren't able to win more than 4 games. It's crazy to me, man. But you got a point, and I'm not gonna run from the. I'm not gonna downplay that and say that I wasn't one of those guys, because I was. I always have optimism for whoever the next guy is. I just feel maybe I'm just biased as a Raider fan, but I feel like the tides are gonna change this year, man. And I hope they do, man. I really do hope they do. We got 2 more minutes until they go live. Okay, I see a lot of people talking about. Let's see, I did get a super chat. Shout out to Raphael for the 199 super chat. Let me hit it one time with the. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for the 199. He says DK Metcalf to the Raiders. If you guys didn't see my last video, I'm totally down with this move, man. If the Raiders can go out and get DK Metcalf by any means, I'm with it. Just don't trade away Max Crosby. Don't trade away a first round, even a second round pick. If we could, I feel like we could get the job done with a third round and something else. And if we could bring in DK Metcalf, somebody that really looks up to Pete Carroll, somebody that really respects Pete Carroll. And I mean, shit, when Pete Carroll drafted him, he took off his shirt, had that same energy, and made DK Metcalf feel at home. And the Raiders are missing a wide receiver 1 right now. I know Jacoby Myers right now could be a wide receiver 1, but he's not that guy. I think he's a 1B to whoever we bring in as a 1A, whether we go out into free agency and get T. Higgins, whether we draft T-Mac, or whether we go and trade for DK Metcalf. I'm down with this move. I think DK Metcalf will be perfect for this Raiders offense, man. But we just got to see who's gonna throw it to him. That's for sure. Okay, let's see. Let me double check to see if they're live right now. They're not live right now. They're not live right now. I think they're just talking right now. But we'll see once I see Pete Carroll old ass go up to the stage. Then we'll put it on and then we'll talk about it. Okay, who else is up in the chat, baby? Yeah. DK Fitz and LV. We just need a quarterback, though. Exactly, Beto. Exactly. And that's gonna be a big question. Who's gonna be that next quarterback? Is gonna be a real big question. I've seen a lot of Shador Sanders in here, and I heard that he's been getting a lot of praise at the Shrine Bowl or whatever, it's the Shrine Game or whatever. But he's been getting a lot of praise over there. So who knows if his stock rises or falls? We'll have to see these next coming weeks and next coming days. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. What else we got up in here? Yes, sir. Okay. If Pete doesn't bring back Jimmy G, then we right. Yo, hey Joe, man, chill. Jimmy G. Yeah, we should never let Jimmy G go in the first place, man. But it is what it is. I think he's gonna be a free agent this year. So who knows? Who knows if the Raiders give that call? You know what I mean? What do you think about the talks about Pete Carroll wanting to sign Russell Wilson? Okay, I like that. Eloy, I like that. Russell Wilson, I'm with it. I'm one of those advocates that I've been an advocate for having Russell Wilson come to the Las Vegas Raiders for quite some time, even before he went to the Broncos, even before he went to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Say what you want to say about him. I know he's past his prime. It's not about that, though. I'm not expecting him to come over here and win a Super Bowl, even though that's what we all want. I just don't think that's realistic. I think that the Raiders do need a veteran quarterback to be a bridge quarterback to help a young quarterback that we bring in the NFL draft, just to give them some time to take over when their time is right. So whoever the veteran quarterback is, I would rather have somebody that's experienced, somebody that knows the system, and especially somebody that has a lot of relationship with Pete Carroll. Russell Wilson checks off all those boxes, and that's one reason why I would want to bring That's one of the main reasons why I would want to bring him. But he's not the only quarterback that I would want to get. I know Geno Smith's name's been thrown around, which I'd be down with that as well. But Justin Fields could possibly be a top target in free agency. There's been talks that, Russell Wilson might re-sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And if that happens, then okay, so be it. Let's go get somebody out there. I'm not a big advocate for Sam Darnold, but if the Raiders go in that direction, okay. But Justin Fields is my number one choice in free agency. If not him, then Russell Wilson. But that's just me, though. Okay, I'm gonna be real. I'm 26, but Pete Carroll makes me feel old. Dude can outgrind most of us in the comments. Max Raider, yo, he most likely can outwork me, man. Me and my big ass. But that's what I'm saying, man. Pete Carroll is 73 years old, but that's just a number to him, man. He's in better shape than most 73-year old, and he's got a lot more energy than a lot of these other people out there. I mean, you look at Andy Reid, 66-year-old fat ass out there just going to the Super Bowl thanks to the referees, but he's still out there doing his thing. Bruce Arians was when they brought him back out of retirement to go coach the Buccaneers. He only stayed with the team 3 years, and then he helped build up his successor to take over after he left. Todd Bowles was the defense coordinator over there in Tampa Bay. And I feel like that's the direction I see the Raiders going in right now. You bring in Pete Carroll. We'll see how many years that he's going to stay with us. I know it's a 3-year deal, fourth-year team option, but a lot of things can change. If we could turn this team around in 3 years, or at least be a contender, maybe have a Super Bowl appearance. Who knows? I'm not saying that that's actually going to happen, but if we're able to do that in the 3 years he's here, you got to build up the future, and that's why a lot of people are really looking into seeing who the offense coordinator is going to be and who the defense coordinator is going to be, because it's going to be really really interesting to see who could be the successor to Pete Carroll. Now I know that some news came out today that the Raiders did interview or requested to interview Seahawks DB coach Carl Scott. Yeah, Carl Scott. And he's one guy that's been respected, one guy that Pete Carroll had on his coaching staff years ago when he was still with the Seahawks. And he is actually one of the only, or he's the only coach that is that stayed on the Seahawks coaching staff since Pete Carroll left. So I know that they're trying to get him over here. And, he wasn't a guy that was on my list, but, it's an interesting name, though. Definitely an interesting name. Let's see. Simone, question. Why do I always read your 10 gauge? I always read your question. I don't know why, but it just pops up. Question. Do you think Pete Carroll can target Deion Sanders to be on his staff if they draft Shador? I don't know. I don't even know if Deion Sanders would want to come in as a coordinator. I mean, it could be possible, but I doubt that happens. But we'll see. I wouldn't even want him on. Oh, I wouldn't mind him on staff though. But what, as a defense coordinator, offense coordinator? I don't know, man. Uh, why does everybody count out AOC? Oh, Gilbert. Okay, Gilbert says, why does everybody count out AOC? Uh, because I think a lot of people has already seen AOC's ceiling. I mean, AOC can still be a solid quarterback, but we don't want solid. We want somebody that could take over and at least win more games than AOC has been able to do over here. I mean, he's been up and down, and I've seen a lot of growth from him just last season when he was able to play. But then again, he was barely even on the field, and he was getting injured out there. So I mean, it is what it is, man. Yeah, Beto. Yeah. Hey, listen. Oh, let me see. He says, "Oh, don't forget, guys. Anybody that's coming up in here, man, we are almost here. What, 200 people deep up in the chat right now. I appreciate everybody for being on the chat right now. Okay. I think the presser is just getting started. But before I turn it over to Big Boy Mark, don't forget to hit that like button down in the comments below, or hit that like button, y'all. Definitely hit that like button. It does a lot for the channel. It just takes a little bit of your time. So let's get into the. I'm gonna get into the live stream right now. Let's just start this bitch up. Okay." Oh yeah.
I'm going to have some things to say afterwards, but right now I'm going to let you get to these guys and learn about what the future of the Raiders holds for us.
Ooh, I bet Mark is probably tired of doing these freaking press conferences, right? I mean, it seems like we always do this, man. We always get somebody new. We have to do this whole thing all over again. But it'd be nice though. And he's taking that same picture that he's been taking with everybody. The same thing he took with John Gruden and Mike Mayock. The same thing with Tom Telesco, AP, Josh McDaniels, and Dave Ziegler. I don't know. It's just getting old at this point. And I know Pete's gonna come out here. It's great to come and coach a storied history
Also, I'd like to
franchise.
introduce the
We're gonna
families
get back to the greatness of the Raiders.
John's
Yada, yada,
wife,
yada.
Kristen. Here they are.
Let me know if you guys can hear it.
And Jack and Tom. The children. Please give them And then, of course, Pete's wife, Glenna, is also here.
Shout out Glenna.
Give them a hand. I want to welcome them to the Raider family, and let's go.
All right. What are we talking about? Take your seat, man.
We'll begin with some opening remarks from General Manager John Spytek, followed by Head Coach Pete Carroll, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Come on,
Thank you.
Spytek, talk to me, man.
Thank you, Mark, for the introduction. I cannot express how grateful and excited I am to be here, to be given this opportunity, to be a part of an iconic cornerstone franchise like this. So just a dream come true for me, with many dreams still out in the future to get accomplished. This isn't the final goal, but this was certainly one of my career goals, and just so grateful for the time, the belief in me, and Coach Carroll to do our thing and make this organization proud. I want to thank everybody for coming today as well. The support is awesome. It means a lot to see so many people here. I've seen some familiar faces, and I can't wait to get to know you all better and work hand in hand with all of you. So I want to thank the interview group as well. It was a tremendous experience sitting in front of those people, having them answer questions, having them throw questions at me, having them challenge me. To have their belief as well, along with Mark's, is just something that is empowering. It gives me confidence, and I feel that they made a great decision. So I couldn't be more excited to be here. I want to thank the Glazer family too for having me the last 9 years. It was an awesome opportunity to work for a great franchise. They are an awesome ownership group. They gave us all the resources to do our jobs well. Proud what we accomplished there, and just grateful to have had the opportunity to work for them. I want to thank some of my mentors that I would not be here without. Tom Heckert, the late Tom Heckert, who believed in me when I was a young scout, young cocky scout, 24 years old, out of Michigan. Thought I knew everything, but he took me under his wing, gave me opportunities, and really that's what, to me, this league is about: finding young people that are hungry, that love the game of football, giving them a chance to pursue their passion, their dreams. Jason Light, my boss the last 9 years at Tampa, believing in me when I was a young scout as well in Philadelphia, giving me an amazing chance to help lead a franchise at a young age, at 35 years old. I worked every day to make him proud. We accomplished a lot together, and I'm just so grateful for him. And then two of my other mentors from the dreaded Denver Broncos, I have to say it though, Matt Russell and John Elway, from my time there. They picked me up when I was kind of at a low in my professional career and gave me an opportunity to kind of revitalize myself, reshape myself, and chase a passion again.
He better.
My family sitting in the front row here, I'm going to try not to get too choked up. My wife, Kristen, is my rock. She is the strongest person I know. She is an unbelievable mother to these two boys, Jack and Tommy, down here, who I couldn't be more proud of. They're doing awesome right now. They're behaving. They look awesome, and they look awesome in silver and black. And they cannot wait for me to shut up so they can go back out and throw balls all over the practice field out there. But you're going to see my wife around a lot. She is going to be a big pillar in this community. We're going to be big pillars in this community. It's important to us to give back, and she is as tough as they come too. So I promise you, I'm ready for this job, because she's harder on me at home than anybody else is when it comes to football. My mom and my dad, I wish they could be here today. My dad is actually getting hip surgery right now, a hip replacement, so he can get back on the golf course and pickleball. I love you both. I would not be here without your love and support. You showed me what it is to be a parent, to support children, and I think these two are doing so well right now because of the gifts that my mom and dad gave me and the support they gave me growing up. A couple more people here. My high school coach, Bill Young, one of the winningest coaches in the history of the state of Wisconsin. I learned at a young age what winning looks like, what a great program looks like, what toughness looks like, how to compete. I've never forgot it. He's still coaching to this day. He's like 75 years old. He can't give it up, and wins state championships all the time. So, Coach, I hope you're out there watching somewhere. I love you. Thanks for.
Why are you looking at me?
Just a guy that loves football, just like you.
Get him, Pete. Get him, Pete.
A couple more here, then I'll turn it over to this guy.
Sorry, my bad.
Lloyd Carr and the University of Michigan for giving me a chance to follow my first football dream, to play at the greatest university there is. I know a lot of people would disagree with that, but we have the most wins all time, and I will not apologize for that. So
Good for you.
I learned about what team is about, what selflessness is about, what toughness is about, what competitive stamina is about, and that's going to be some of the pillars that we talk about and enforce here. All the scouts that I've worked with throughout my career, I learned so much from you. this is not me sitting up here. I feel like this is us sitting up here. I tried to learn so much from every person that I was around, from the Eagles to the Browns to the Broncos to the Bucks, and now here. I don't pretend to have all the answers. I met so many wonderful people along the way that I worked great with that helped me get to where I'm at. And then the final people I want to thank are the players. To me, this game has always been about the players. I have a love affair of watching this game. I have a love affair of watching players compete. They're the ones that lay it on the line every Sunday, Monday night. My respect for them is immense. And I would not be here without the players that I've been a part on the teams I've been a part of, the Tristan Wirfs of the world, the Peyton Mannings of the world, the Demarius Thomases of the world. I mean, I could go on and on. Joe Thomas. I mean, I've been around truly some of the great players of the last 20 years, and I've got to see what it looks like, what greatness looks like, what competitiveness looks like. I see Max standing back there. He embodies all that stuff that we're talking about, and I just love watching players compete and perform, and I am so grateful to all the men that competed and laid it on the line so I could sit in a spot like this today. And the last thing I want to say before I turn it over to Coach is when I dreamt about having one of these jobs, I always wanted it to be with an iconic franchise like the Raiders.
There we go.
I'm not sure I ever got far enough in my dreams as a young kid in Pewaukee, Wisconsin, that I could be sitting up here today with the Raiders. But here I am. And there's just some teams where it means a little bit more. There's just some teams where they deserve to be the NFL's better when they're crushing it. And to have been given that responsibility is not something I take lightly, but I am extremely honored and humbled to be up here with that opportunity out in front of us. And I cannot be more excited to get started and to get started with Coach Carroll here. So I appreciate you all. I look forward to getting to know all your names, getting to know all you better, talking with you, and build this thing the right way so the Raider Nation can be proud, the former players of the Raiders can be proud, and we can be where some of these teams are now, still playing. That's the goal. So thank you all.
They better. We definitely need to get back to greatness. It's been quite a while though, man. Come on, Pete, talk to us, Zeus.
This special day is unique, and for so many reasons. I first want to say I'm so fired up to be here with John, and because I know that first time around is really something, and so we're gonna celebrate this in a fantastic way. We're gonna partner in this thing. It's so important that our relationship is dynamic and extraordinary and true, and so you'll see that come in time. So nice job, man. Congrats. Being a kid that grew up in the Bay Area, and my dad made me a Niners fan when we were going to Kezar Stadium back in the day, parking in Golden Gate Park, and then the Raiders came to town. And when you're in the Bay Area, you can take sides and all, but the Raiders captured me a long time ago, and I'm just filled with gratitude to be part of this. There's so many elements that made this come together that are so special and so unique. And as you heard John, we start right with family and the support that we get. My wife Glenna is here. That she's been through it all. We've been through every imaginable experience in this game, and she has stood so strong with me, and she's meant everything in the world. She's been involved with this process all the way throughout, and side by side, we're here, and so we're really excited about that. We got a big family, and because you mentioned the numbers. I've got grandkids, and I love them, and we got a bunch of them, and we got a whole family to follow this venture that we take here. This really begins with the Davis family, and I grew up under Mark's dad, watching this program come together. But I've seen in such short order, just in this time that we've come together to get to this point. Mark Davis put together an extraordinary group to make this happen and make this a unique opportunity in the league, and a unique opportunity for the Raider Nation and for our fans that will follow us, and it's one of a kind. And he's assembled a group to support us that I know that John and I have just been knocked out by ownership that is one of a kind. And Egon Durbin is part of this. Michael Meldman's part of this. Tom Wagner's part of this. But when Mark figured out how valuable it would be to put Tom Brady in this mix and bring that kind of football background and history, Mark made a great move. And it's our job to celebrate that for Mark and to make sure that this comes to life the way it can, with the great possibilities and the great future and the immediate future as well. So my hat's off to you guys. I'm so fired up that we're doing this together, and it's going to be unique. Then they're going to be surprised what comes. As far as for my opportunities, I've been all over the place. You guys all know that, and I've had great chances to start up programs that had faltered in the past. And when we went to USC, it was after being fired a couple times, and I've been through that. And I was a young coach and found out I didn't know anything after my experiences, but had an opportunity to find my philosophy and my approach. And following the New England days, and the next stop was USC, and that university was an extraordinary match for me at the time. They were struggling. We put something together, and we did something historic there on the really based on a philosophy that came out of all of the years before, the 27 years it took me to get to that point in my coaching career. And to me, I look back at the days in Los Angeles at SC as really the building blocks of the philosophy that we were able to take to Seattle, and to carry the mentality and the approach and the design of it and the culture that we established into the NFL to see if it would work. It was really just an experiment in my mind. But in both situations, it just took us a couple of years to get going. And I know that rhythm, and I'm expecting that rhythm. I'm anticipating that we're going to find that rhythm right here, right now, here in Vegas. And so with the Raiders and this opportunity, I feel like I've been there before. And I'm going to bank on that. And I'm going to follow my instincts and support with John and through as we extend to ownership in a way that we're going to be proud of, and we're going to be fired up about who we are and what we stand for. We have a great following in the Raidernation, and they've done amazing. They've made an amazing statement globally, and I'm so proud to be part of that, recognizing that we get to represent our following. And here in Las Vegas, to do it in this setting right here, where people can't wait to come see us, they can't wait to see what we're all about, wherever our fans come from. We do want to fill our stadium up with our guys. I know that we have a good draw for people from out of town. There you go. There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Mark, settle down a little
Raiders.
bit.
Who is that?
But it's real. This is a real challenge for us, and we're going to go arm in arm, John and I, and we're going to put this thing together in a way that's going to make you proud. You all wondering about timelines and all that. It took us a few years to get to the very top of the last couple programs I was with. We're starting right now, going for it immediately. We don't have some timeline. We got to make it 5 or 6 years down the road. That's not what we're thinking. We're going to start right now to go after it and build this team as quickly as we can. As John saw Max back there, Max, send a message, man. We're coming after you. We're going to come find you guys and get this thing rolling as soon as possible.
Come
with
on.
the highest of expectations, with a mentality that will drive high performance in a way that hopefully everybody's going to hear us and they're going to know us. And so I'm really proud to take on that challenge. So thrilled to be here. Thanks again to Mark and Tom and guys. Thank you here. Away we go. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Raidernation. Let's go, baby.
Let's go. Come on now. Still huge shout out to Mr. Rogers in the neighborhood. Shout out to Kev, man. I'm going to use that. now.
Do it. Yeah.
Come on
We'll
now.
start right over here with Paul. Ashley and Jade have microphones on either side. Please state your name and affiliation.
Paul Gutierrez from ESPN. Pete, long time no see, from back in LA.
Hey, Jay.
How does your experience as a veteran coach mesh with John's vision as a first-time GM going forward?
Oh, man, I think it's a perfect mesh opportunity for us to show you how important it is for this relationship to be at the tip of the spear for our program. His background, his mentality, his devotion to character and football and the game and having respect for what it takes to make this thing strong and right, it has just hit me right in my heart. And so I'm thrilled about sharing the years and the experience with the energy and the juice that he brings. And so it's going to work out great.
Hi, this is Vic Tafer from The Athletic. Congratulations for both you guys. Is there any kind of history between you two guys going back? And what excites you about this partnership going forward, about having this pairing together?
Go ahead.
A little history in Super Bowl 48. I was working for the Broncos, and we got our faces caved in by the Legion of Boom in that. I told him when I first talked I was still sore from that, but I've been a big fan of his for a long time. The energy that his teams play with, the commitment to run the ball, play great defense, support the quarterback. I mean, we're going to do all those things here, and that all came through the first couple phone conversations I had. I mean, we two people that I think are just have a love and respect and passion for the game, and although we've kind of grew up on different coasts, we see the game very similarly, and I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, I think our connection with the game of football and how much we love what this stands for and what it's all about, and has connected us like immediately. And so it's been seamless in the way we go. We've got a lot of difficult decisions to make, and you'll see us come together on our thoughts and all. But I with absolute conviction that we're gonna go take this together and take it on in a really great fashion.
Coach Carroll, Levi Edwards, Las Vegas Raiders.
Levi,
You talked
Khalil
about
Mack!
building a culture at USC and then bringing that over to the NFL with the Seattle Seahawks. When you talk about building a culture, whether it's your players or your staff, what are some non-negotiables that you must see that are mandatory to build that culture in your eyes?
Yeah, well, the culture is the players, and you'll see that, but we'll show them the way, and it all starts with competition. I mean, you're either competing or you're not, and I'm going to make sure that that's really clear to these guys from the moment they get here. We're going to go out and draft a class, and there'll be a few free agents who maybe we'll be able to attract, and we'll need to see those guys, and we'll need to see what they're all about. But the competition part of it is theirs to command. If there's one thing that I want them to understand, and start the message right now, if you want to be on a great team, you need to be a great teammate. And so teaching what that's all about and instilling that in the makeup of our program is going to be crucial. And the central theme in the program is always going to be competition, and that's where it starts.
Question for both of you guys. You guys have both won Lombardies. This is Q Myers, Raidernation Radio 920 right back here. You guys have both won Lombardies, one with different style of quarterbacks. But for you, what are non-negotiables that are you looking for your leader, your quarterbacks?
I'd go back to that. I mean, I got a chance to be around, in my opinion, the greatest player ever. And it was a love of the game and a competitive desire that just didn't allow him to quit. He was never out of a fight. He was willing to do things that the ordinary football player person wasn't willing to do. And, we're gonna turn over every stone to find that leader for this team too. There's just gonna be certain requirements of the job, and it doesn't necessarily take the strongest arm or the best thrower. It's the guys that will push their teammates to a place that's uncomfortable, that will give almost anything to win. That's what the best ones do, and we're gonna find one of those.
Okay.
Yeah, I would add to that it's our mission to build this football team up around the quarterback position. It isn't the only spot. We happen to have the greatest of all time to help us and to see clearly, and we're gonna lean on Tom as much as we possibly can for his insights, because nobody has the insights that he has. He's that unique. But it's the quarterback position is one of the positions on the team, and we've got to make it all fit together well. I've had pretty good success with my quarterbacks in the past. You can go all the way back to college days, and they've all turned out to be really extraordinary members of our club.
Man, that's fast.
There's a way
That's
to embrace the challenge that the quarterback has from the rest of the football team as well. We need to support our guy, and we need to do what we can to make that work. It's really about making a great football team around the quarterback position. Coach Walsh taught me a long time ago that it's the hardest position in professional sports to play, and so we need to make it as easy for them as possible. And we'll go about doing that by running the football, protecting them, taking care of the ball, playing great defense, and kicking the football when we want to kick it. And there's a lot that goes into this, but to think about how fortunate we are to have Tom Brady with us, it's just a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Adam Hill, Las Vegas Review-Journal, here for Pete. You've accomplished everything.
Put your hand up so we can
Sorry,
hear you. Thank you.
You've accomplished everything that you could accomplish in this business. Why is it that you wanted to seek a new challenge, and what is it about this challenge that interested you?
It's never been about accomplishments. It's never been about that. It's about the game and loving it and playing. I really have realized again in this year, that when you get a year to take a step away from it, it's incredibly valuable. My last time I stepped away from it was the year after New England. I stayed out a year, and the next thing that happened is I went to USC. And to me personally, the rest was history. It hasn't been about trying to win the championship games so that I can put that banner or that ring in my drawer. It's not about that. It's about competing. It's about being the best you can possibly be with what you have to work with, and taking on the challenges of it, and all of the that goes into making that happen for the players. It's the relationships with the players. It's building the mentality that everybody that comes to our program has a unique quality that makes them them. And I'm going to try to figure out what that is and find a way to bring that to the surface. And in doing so, you give everybody the chance to be as good as they can possibly be. That's what this is about to me. And so it hasn't been about just the rings. It's been about much more than that.
Okay, I like it. He's spitting facts.
Deshaun Reed from The Athletic.
Deshaun!
Pete, when you were with the Seahawks, you also had the title of Vice President of Football Operations and final say on roster decisions. Is that a role you envision having similarly here, or do you feel like you're going to defer?
We're sharing everything. We're collaborating to the nth degree. And we're going to do this. We're going to draw the best we possibly have out of each other to make every decision we can make as clear and as sound as possible. And we're going to be able to use our guys that are on top. The success stories of our ownership group is it's unmatchable. And so we're going to lean on those guys to help us when we need them. And they know they're part of this competition too. But you're going to see us. We're partners in this, and that's the way we did it before. You watch that. If you look at what happened over the 14 years, you wouldn't have known who was calling what. And that's the way I want it to be. And I know John's on board with that.
Hey, come on.
Case Kiefer, Las Vegas Sun. For Pete, you kind of mentioned or alluded to some of the similarities coming into this job as at USC and Seattle, a season or two of rough times, but you were able to get the team to respectability kind of right away there. What are some lessons from those first two seasons at your last couple stops that you learned you can put into here?
Yeah, the lessons that are really clear is that we have a philosophy and a way to do things, with things we believe in, and the sooner we can get to everybody understanding it and being on board with it, the sooner we'll move ahead and move forward. I'm not talking about just the football team. I'm talking about the people that are in the organization. I'm talking about the people that support us, everybody that has an inkling that they want to see what we're all about. We're teaching, and we're reaching out to them. I think it takes everybody to make us as good as we can possibly be. And so it's that process that we'll go through that we've done before. It's an exciting, challenging, kind of once of a lifetime opportunity again. So we're going to take it on with a great energy about it.
Reese with the Raiders Spanish broadcast. Coach Carroll, we've all seen the videos of you
Harry
throwing
Reese.
the football, catching the football,
Harry
having
Reese.
fun out there with the players. How important is it to keep that aspect, but at the same time keeping the structure and having the discipline to be a winning team, but the fun, it seems like it's an aspect that's important for you.
To me, it's always been about playing catch. I love the game since I was a little kid, and I if I get a chance to go out and throw the ball around, I'm doing it. And so that's how you're going to see us. That's what I'll do first time on the practice field as we get going. It's my love for the game that goes all the way back to the basics of it. I don't do stuff like everybody else. And really, that's not my goal to try to match up how other people that have run this thing. And I've had, like John mentioned, extraordinary mentors through the process to get to where I am. But I'm not trying to do it like anybody else knows how to do it. I'm going to try to do it the way that comes right from the center of my heart, and what I think is the most important aspects of it, and how this thing works, and how and extend that mentality to the people that are in our organization, because we need to be on the same page. And so I need to do a really good job of teaching and a really good job of illustrating and being the image of what that looks like. And there's no end to that to me. And either, like I said, you're either competing or you're not, and I'm always competing. So that's how we'll get it done in every way possible. To me, this game should be fun. If we're not having fun, I'm screwing it up. And we're going to have fun in this room right here with our team. They're going to grow in here. They're going to find out what we're all about, and they're going to understand what they're representing. And if I do a good job of teaching, and so that's what I'm bringing to it. And If you don't want to compete, you're in the wrong place. And our players will understand that early on. You know, when we went to Seattle, we went through a lot of transactions, and it was to find the right people. John and I are in total concert of the kinds of people that are going to build this program. We're going to build this program around. And so there's a way to get to that, and we've been through this, and it's really exciting to have the opportunity to do it again. Why, you know, you asked, okay, why would I want to do it again? You know, that it's because it's that chase and that pursuit of the passion that we want to find. So.
Alex Eshelman with Channel 13 Sports right here. Congratulations to the both of you. Coach Carroll, you've mentioned Tom Brady's name multiple times in this presser.
Have I done it too much?
No, not in my opinion, no. What has his influence been like for you both to want to be a part of this franchise, and what was his involvement like in the hiring process for the both of you?
Well, he's been integrally involved, you know, wherever I know that the process could allow him to be in. We haven't seen him, you know, he's not been here, he's got a big job. But he has been a really exciting part of it. Exciting to me because he's one of the great competitors that have ever lived. And so for me, that's a chance to understand more deeply what that's all about, where that comes from. And so
exactly, Jay. Exactly.
But this is his opportunity to put his stamp on a franchise, and so we're excited to represent that bringing him into it. Mark has done an incredible job to figure out how to formulate this plan so that we could all fit together, so he's been involved, and he's going to continue to be involved, and we're going to lean on him like crazy.
Ed Graney, Review Journal. John, how do you begin the process now of building this roster? What's your first steps, and where do you go from today?
Where's our guy? Oh, there he is. Could you ask the question again? I was looking for you. I couldn't find you.
Yeah. To John, the process, where do you begin today after you leave here? Like, how do you build this roster from what you've seen in the past?
Yeah, Spytek,
have you seen much of it?
Joke, dog.
Well, my job for the past 9 years has been to see the NFL, and it's in totality every year. So yes, I'm familiar with it. We obviously played the Raiders this year in Tampa Bay. My first order of business is going to begin with Coach here. We're going to talk more about the kind of player we want, what it looks like at every position, the kind of person we want. To me, it's vitally important. You're going to hear, I think, both of us continue to talk about that. What does it mean to be a Raider? What are the qualities that we're going to stand for? What are the qualities that everybody that comes into this building is going to stand for? I take that very personally and very seriously as a responsibility of mine. Is like the scouts are in charge of finding the right kind of people to bring into an organization. There's no greater responsibility, I don't think, than that. We will be what our character kind of will be our fate, in a sense. And you know, we're looking for first people that love football, that want to compete every day, or there just won't be a place for you here, and that's okay. We want it to be a hard team to make. We want it to be a hard job every day, but for those that are willing to step up to that challenge and be a part of that, there'll be a great reward at the end of it. We've both lived it. We know what it looks like. So I'm less concerned about roster construction right now and, you know, this position or this position. We've got some really good players in this building, really good, and everybody knows that. They know who they are. Our job is going to be to find more of them, but it's going to start with the person.
Hondo Carpenter from SI.
Hondo!
Intern.
Uncle Hondo!
Up in Bill Keenest's office with Matt and Sheldon, and you came in and they called you the Whiz Kid.
I didn't know that till you put that out there, a week ago? And all my friends found it. I was the Whiz apparently for the past 20-something years.
Yeah, and still laughing with them today. I mean, they talk about you
I don't be
a phenomenal listener.
I don't be capping with
that's
those
still what
nicknames.
people say about you from Tampa Bay. So how much of being a successful executive is
Devin.
really pinned on being a good listener?
Devin, I agree with you.
I think it's a great question.
It's going to be different.
I would start by
does feel different.
When I was in Detroit, I was in operations, and all I wanted to do was get into scouting. But it was my foot in the door. I mean, I bothered everybody that had any kind of computer where I could watch tape on it forever, and then I would just go there and listen and try to understand what they were looking for in players, what made them tick. You know, did they like speed? Did they like quickness? Did they like high character guys? Did they want to take risks? I mean, to me, that's just kind of who I am as a person. I'm infinitely curious. I'm open-minded, and I think if people just slow down sometimes and listen to the people around them, it's amazing how much you can learn. I tell my wife all the time, the nature of a scout is to always be watching and observing. So I'm always watching and observing. I just watched my young son here tie his shoes for the last 10 minutes, but they're both tied now, so they look good. Good job, Tommy.
So the number one Congo supporter out here is.
It's such a great quality, and people will tell you the truth in this business if you find the right people. And our job as scouts and where I've come up is to get to the root of who people are and decide whether or not we want to add them to our organization. I mean, that's ultimately what we're trying to do.
Can I add to that answer, Johnny? You okay with that?
Of course.
Yeah. Being a great listener is a huge aspect of what I think is important in a great competitor. And it's why are you listening? Because you want to learn. You want to know. You want to hear. I'm hoping that we'll all sense that this is a relationship-based organization. And that means that we're going to build it around the people that are here. And you can't celebrate the people that are here if you don't listen to who they are and you don't watch and observe. And so I'm hoping this will be an outstanding characteristic of our program, because we don't have any time. We got to get going. And so but we have to work at doing that. And it's proactively listening and proactively working at understanding who you're dealing with so we can teach them really well because we know them. And so I love that question, Hondo. Thank you.
Carter Owen with the Las Vegas Raiders. Pete, you mentioned how time away from coaching can be valuable. Did you learn anything about yourself or the role as a head coach in this past year that you think can be beneficial as you get started here with this new opportunity?
Hey, I wouldn't be competing if I wasn't learning. That's the whole point. You got to keep on, stay curious and make sure that you're always on the next opportunity to be a little bit better. I had an incredible year. I got to watch JV football in high school. My grandson playing quarterback, then he played on the varsity team as well. I watched all those games. My son was coaching at the U up in Seattle. He's offensive coordinator there. Got to watch all of their games, watched everything I could watch in the league, watched my other son and all of my guys coaching, Danny Quinn and David Canales and guys around the league that have been with me. It's been a year full of just input. And so as the last time I had a year that I stepped away from it, and it was extraordinarily life-changing for me, this year I feel has been the same. The extraordinary opportunity to see things uniquely when you're not coaching ball, you don't get that observation opportunity. You just can't, because you're so immersed in what you're doing. It was extremely valuable. So I can't wait for all of the things that I see that I want to do differently than what we've done in the past. And I think there are improvements, or I wouldn't be thinking that. And it's been an amazing journey to get to this moment right here. And so I'm really fired up about taking advantage of that year.
Pete, Sean Zattel, Vegas Sports Today. Right.
Yeah.
Hi, Pete. You're set to make history as the oldest tenured coach in NFL history. I know you mentioned you don't really do this for accomplishments, but you have accomplished everything. So what makes you still want to coach at this age and also believe that you can still do it at a high level at an age no one's been able to do it in the NFL before?
Yeah, well, first off, I'm not real proud of wearing this number 73 on my back, but that's not what fires me up. But
let them know, Pete.
But it isn't about accomplishing things to say you were worthy. It's what you got to do next that counts. What's the next thing up? And so I laid low during this football season, and I'm teaching a class at USC that's been a thrill. I've not been one step away from what we're doing and at any time and what we're up against here. I'm just so grateful that have been given the opportunity to do this again and define it. Because to me, it's the very next step that we get to take that fires me up. It's the very next challenge. It's coming back, or it's overcoming, or it's celebrating the success that you just had in making yourself come back to basics and continue to be uncommonly consistent that drives me, So the stuff that you guys have heard, about Pete and having fun, like you mentioned about throwing the ball around, all that, that's part of it. That's part of it. But it's about the competing and proving that you have value and you have worth and you can add to it. I don't care how old you are. And for anybody out there that's old and wants to know how you do it, you freaking battle every day and you compete and you find your way to get better. And everybody needs to be coached up, and that's what's been happening for me. And I would like to extend that thought to anybody that wants to hear it, because we can get better and we can do more things that are of value, and we can love our families more and our people around us. I mean, all of that stuff. So obviously I'm freaking jacked up. So that shouldn't surprise you, but.
Go ahead, Zeke.
All right. Good morning, guys. Congratulations. John, you mentioned a lot of different people that you came across along the way that have helped you out. What was the biggest lesson that you've learned that might have helped you, that may help you with this position?
It's about the people you surround yourself with. And when you're dealing with an organization like this, it's everybody from, it's literally the entire organization. I mean, I think people focus on the players all the time, and I've already told you guys how much I value and respect and honor the players. I mean, it's what they're all about. But you know, I don't think we'll only be as good as the people that we bring into this organization or keep in this organization. I think there's a lot of probably great people here that I just haven't met yet, and I can't wait to meet them. But I went to Cleveland in 2010, and they hadn't had a lot of success, and we found a scouting department that was just looking for a little bit of energy and excitement, and when we provided that. Now, we didn't win enough games there, which is what this is about, but there's a lot of great people there, and they worked their asses off to find good players, and almost all those guys are still in the league right now because they're good people. They just needed an extra chance. And so I just learned that a long time ago. I mean, Andy Reid, John Harbaugh, I mean, Spags, I mean, the staff that I started with, Sean McDermott, we were good in Philly because we had a lot of great people there that loved football. And that's what we're going to try to do here. If you love football, there'll be a place for you.
All right, we're going to wrap it up with Levi, Mark Anderson, and then Tashawn.
John.
Raise your hand.
You've been around a lot of great football minds, you know, from a front office and coaching, you know, aspect within your career. When you see Pete Carroll from afar and what he's accomplished, you know, what are some things in this role that you're looking to learn or gain from him in terms of insight or things that you feel like you can take away from him as a GM?
Well, I can't wait to see what compete for Pete looks like every day. I think I got a pretty good feel for it so far. But just the energy and the passion that he presents with every day has been something that I've been drawn to over the past, it feels like we were talking on the way here, like it feels like it's been 10 days, but I think it's only been like 3
a few days
since we first started talking. You know, just the way he leads a program. I mean, everywhere he's been, he's won. I mean, I go back, I can remember vividly watching those USC teams. I mean, they were some of the most fun football teams I've ever watched. And I think I admired them a lot because, yes, they were full of talent. And our job is to find a lot of talent here. But they were full of competitors and guys that love football. And I'm sorry if we're ad nauseum talking about love football, but that's to me what this is about. You got to love this. And I can't wait to learn from him. I mean, he's a wealth of knowledge. He's crushing this press conference. He's got people excited. And I've just been a fan for so long. And to get a chance to sit up here alongside of him today and now work alongside of him is an honor. And I'm just fired up.
Okay, go on. That's all right.
Yeah.
Pete.
Yeah.
Mark Anderson, AP. What are your thoughts on putting together your staff?
Say that again, please.
What are your thoughts on putting together your staff?
Yeah, well, we're in the midst of getting started. I mean, like John and I, we're just getting started at it. However, we have been talking to some people, and we're going to try to put this thing together. I'm really looking for people that have been with me, that understand the philosophy to some extent. I want guys that have never been around me before so that they have to learn what we're all about, and we can watch the process of them learning who we're all about and what we expect. And then I'm hoping that we can maintain some of the terrific coaches that are on the staff too, so we can have the benefit of the insights that they bring and the continuity that they can generate for us. So it's a combination of people that we're looking for. But it's all going to fall back into the same theme. We want ball people. We want guys that love the game. And I mean, that's obviously, if nothing else, we've hammered that home today, Johnny. So that's, we want to make sure that we do that. Also, it's important to find people that can help us grow, and challenge us. And those also, I know in my history, I need people to keep me on track. As you can tell, I get pretty juiced up and I'm going to get going. I need people to keep me balanced. That's why Glenn has been so important over the years to keep me rolling. But so it'll be a combination to get that done if we do it well, and it's out there for us, and we've got a lot of people that are really interested. So we got to do a great job of that.
John, a question for you. You've been a part of successful teams that have won Super Bowls, and it's been a mix of, homegrown talent as well as, players that you got through free agency or trades. How do you, plan on straddling that balance between, every GM wants to build through the draft, but also taking some swings in free agency and trades?
Yeah, it's a great question. I don't think there's any perfect way to do it. For us in Tampa recently, it was definitely draft and develop. I think at the start of the season, 44 of the players that made the initial 53 were drafted or signed by us as undrafted free agents. I think all but 2 starters were. But at the end of the day, we're gonna look anywhere we can to find a good football player. I don't care if it's at Michigan, Ohio State, it pains me to say Ohio State, but I'm gonna have to respect them. But our job is to be so open-minded where we will literally go anywhere in the country, anywhere in Canada to find a good football player. And I always admired the way that they started in Seattle at the quarterback position in particular. They just kept taking shots and shots and shots. They drafted guys high. They find their way to Russell. I mean, what an unbelievable move that was. He was a little bit different. He was under 6 feet at a time where most quarterbacks were over 6 feet, so willing to think outside the box a little bit. And these are things that I've learned throughout my career. And so, yes, we want to draft and develop because it's the best way to build a solid foundation of a team and then to reward those players with second contracts because we know exactly what we're doing. But if the opportunity comes to sign a Tom Brady or a Baker Mayfield or trade for a Jason Pierre-Paul or Rob Gronkowski, just examples of my career, we will absolutely do that when the team is ready and the organization is ready for that.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. That'll conclude our press conference. The media, we'd like you to share a meal with us in the meal room right behind the doors there. And thank you, everyone, for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
One of those in the building, man. Who's can eat too, man? Hey, one of these days, though. One of these days, we're going to be in that building. But, I mean, it is what it is. That concludes
Okay,
the
that's the press
man.
conference. We'll be talking to Pete Carroll exclusively, along with John Spytek coming up here, JT, along with Eric
I seen a
Allen,
lot of good
and
things,
what we
man, and heard a lot of
expected.
good things.
High
And
energy,
it's
a deep
really
dive.
awesome, though, to just hear from Pete Carroll and John Spytek once and for all, a lot of people talked about his age, and one thing that I could take out of this press conference for sure is the fact that Pete Carroll, even at that age, man, has a lot of energy, man. He has a lot of energy, and he basically took over this whole press conference, and you could tell that, John Spytek was a bit nervous out there early on. I know a lot of people in the chat kind of noticed it as well, but Pete Carroll just to see the experience that he has, and just to see that he could take over a room just like that, and just the energy that he brings, especially with having Max Crosby in the building and hearing Max Crosby yell Raiders and just kind of getting the tone set over there, it really makes me excited to see what Pete Carroll can do as a head coach with this team and with the staff that we have on set, with the players that we have in the locker room, man. I have nothing but great things to say about Pete Carroll. This is one of the main reasons why I really wanted him to come over here to Las Vegas, because the Raiders really needed a culture reset. We definitely needed to turn the tables around over here in Las Vegas, man. We haven't had a guy that could come in with the experience that Pete Carroll does have and the love of the game that he does have, and with all the knowledge that he knows and even the energy that he brings at 73 years old, man. This is what you ask for, man. This is what you get out of this. This is what I got out of this, is what I'm trying to say. We did have the energy with AP, but he was really, really inexperienced, and he didn't know how to run the team and whatnot. Now, I'm not going to say that this is going to turn into wins right away. I think that's what we're all expecting it to be. But, Marshawn Lynch. Okay, so King, I don't know if it's true or not. Okay, I didn't even know Marshawn was in the building, but thank you to King. But even Marshawn coming up, hey, it's great to see Marshawn still around the team still. But just to hear this as well, that makes it even more exciting, man. You never know, man. Might as well bring Marshawn's ass to come coach up the running backs. Who knows? But just to see that he still brings the energy, and to see that our top guys are still in the building. Max Crosby's in the building. Just wanting to hear from the coach himself. I mean, he's heard this same thing for many different coaches. I mean, ever since he got drafted to the Raiders in 2019, we've been through a plethora of different regimes with him, and I think him being in the building just shows that he just wants to see what he can expect, and I think for us Raider fans, I think that's why there was so many people up in the chat. Even on the Raiders live stream, there's about 20,000+ people up in the chat. They just want to hear from Pete Carroll. They want to know what he'll bring to the table. I know we've heard the same thing over and over again. We want to come turn this organization around, this storied franchise. There's a lot of history here, but never really amounting to wins or anything else. But I really I'm just excited to see what we do move forward. I commented on the Raiders post when they posted Pete Carroll and John Spytek entering the building and stuff like that. I was like, man, here we go again, man. We got to go through another press conference. But it does feel a little bit different, man. It does feel different because I could feel like I could feel everything that Pete Carroll is saying out there. Now, John Spytek, I know he's not going to be a guy that's going to be in the locker rooms pumping up the guys and getting guys going. But the mind that he has and the vision that he has in taking this team to another level is what we all expect out of him. Now, Pete Carroll is going to be the guy in the locker room there every day with the players, there to motivate everybody out here. And one thing that I really do love hearing from him is the fact that he doesn't care about your status as a player. He doesn't care who you are. As long as you love the game of football and you go out there and give it 100%, that's what he's going to take into account. And he even said it to himself, that he doesn't even care about his own accomplishment. That shouldn't be a reason why he got hired. I think one main thing that he said is the fact that, the reason why I got hired is what I'm going to do, not what I did. So I'm excited for that. And we've seen it many times before that, Pete Carroll has turned organizations around, with USC, with the Seattle Seahawks, and now with the team that's been dreading for many, many years, our Las Vegas Raiders. We definitely need to turn this whole thing around. And seeing the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl yet again, man, doesn't really help as well. But, hopefully with the coach change over here, with getting in the right pieces, getting the right quarterback, getting the right running backs, the defense, everything, getting the right offense coordinators and defense coordinators on this team, I hope that we can turn the page on this on the future of the Las Vegas Raiders. So, I'm with it. I'm excited for it. And I can't wait for it, man. Marshawn Lynch, yeah. Hey, that's crazy, man. Hey, Beto, I said the same exact thing. Man. He looks great for 73 years old, man. And age is just a number. I mean, everybody can keep talking about it. I know somebody asked him about it and he kind of addressed it, kind of looked over it a little bit, but you see other guys in the NFL coaching right now. I know Andy Reid, 66 years old, but he definitely out of shape. I think Andy Reid is one of the greatest head coaches of all time for sure. I'm not saying anything against him, but as far as health wise and his age, come on, man. You look at Pete Carroll doing his thing right now, and just the fact that he could take over the room and just have that ball of energy, man. And I see some people up in the chat kind of saying that he's the Mr. Rogers. He's the Mr. Rogers over here in Las Vegas. I love it, man. And you could definitely see that through the screen with Pete Carroll. So I'm excited about what he can do over here, and I'm excited about the team that he could put together over here, man. Shout out Raider Reaper, man. I appreciate it, Deuce. Marshawn Lynch loved playing for the Raiders, even though it was only a couple of years, said himself in a podcast. Yo, Raider Ray, I did hear that. And I think that was one reason why he wanted to come over here, was the main reason. The main reason why he did want to come over here, he talked about it before, is because with the team moving, he had to come and at least play for the Oakland Raiders one time for the one time. ALC's a backup. They just referred to drafting a quarterback and bringing one in when they mentioned Russell. Yeah, and ALC is not Pete Carroll's guy, and I don't think he's gonna go out there and act like that's his guy. We've seen many head coaches come in and act like Derek Carr was their guy, even though he wasn't. So I think Pete Carroll is definitely gonna be looking forward to whoever can come in. Now, I don't think that he's gonna overlook ALC though. I think he's gonna give ALC a chance to compete. He's gonna give ALC a chance to compete with the roster that we have right now, and whoever he does bring in. Hold on, let me throw this up in the. Yeah, real quick. But yeah, I mean, I just really can't wait to see what we do with John Spytek with Pete Carroll, and I can't wait to see what other quarterbacks do we get. I mean, we haven't addressed the quarterback situation that much in the draft. I know ALC got drafted a couple of years ago, but that's not saying much. But getting a first-round quarterback or even a second-round quarterback could be big for this team. Okay, let's take that off. Okay, there we go. So, I like I said, whoever they bring in, I'm just going to have a lot of faith in them, man. Like Kendrick said, we going to be all right. Yeah, you right, Oos. You right. We going to be all right, man, and it is what it is. Not gonna lie, Marshawn woke up Pete with that Raiders scream. He didn't expect that. I know. He came out of nowhere with that. He got me out of nowhere. I didn't even know he was in the building. I thought it was Max Crosby, but we quickly found out it wasn't him. So yeah. We need a vocal leader under center. We do. And we haven't had that, man. Even though we had Jimmy G for a bit, I think outside of Jimmy G, Derek Carr was a bit of a vocal leader, but we still haven't had that guy. And Gardner Minshew was definitely a flop last year. And I just don't think, the Raiders that guy. I mean, I just don't think the Raiders were the perfect fit for him, especially with the first time head coach in the building and expecting him to do a lot. Then I think that was a little bit too much for Gardner Minshew. Raider Ray says ALC's the league's best backup quarterback. Keep him. I don't think that he's the best backup quarterback, but I do believe that he's a solid quarterback at that. You know, at least somebody that could come in and take over if all the other quarterbacks go down, man. I would like to see Spytek pluck Godwin from the Bucks. I think that's a possibility though. I think it's a possibility. There's gonna be a lot of wide receivers out there that the Raiders can go out and at least entertain to possibly bring over here to Las Vegas. But I think if they're gonna be able to bring somebody over here, they gotta kind of find the quarterback first and just kind of convince whoever we try to bring in over here to come over here and play alongside of them. But I think Pete Carroll having Tom Brady here as well will be pretty huge. And obviously, on top of that, just playing in Las Vegas would be pretty huge for whoever we bring in. Walt says, thanks for no mods. You're welcome. You're welcome, Moose. Yeah, keep him, but not as a starter. Yeah. We're not drafting a quarterback. He said multiple times we need to build a team up first. That doesn't mean that we can't get a quarterback, though. We could still go in free agency and get a quarterback. And we could get a quarterback in the draft later on, but still build up the team as well. So I think that they're gonna adjust the quarterback position for sure. I agree with you. I feel like it was like. Oh wait, I feel like. Oh wait, I agree with you. I feel it was. It was it as well. I feel it as well. Like said, with Pete, we whipping feet. Right. Okay, I stumbled across that whole damn thing, but yeah, I appreciate it, Deuce. I'm with it though. I feel like, hey, Angel Rico, I feel like Pete, he's getting himself pumped up as well, man. I was wondering who screamed. It was Marshawn Lynch. I just found that out real quick. Everybody was letting me know in the chat because I thought it was Max Crosby as first. Zilla, this brings harmony in life, in my life, knowing that this team will finally get some stability and leadership that they deserve. I'm excited on who they'll draft and hire from free agency. Let's go. I'm excited as well, man. I think the offseason is always the most exciting part of uh the football season, especially for us Raiders, because we haven't been anywhere. We haven't been winning anything lately, and especially with some new regimes coming in, it's always a question on who the Raiders will get, who will be the next person to come in, who will be the next head coach. Will this new regime actually turn things around or not? And then when the season actually starts, I think that's the most depressing part of our football fandom is when the season actually starts. But I hope it changes though. I hope it does change though with Pete Carroll and Spytek. And I expect it to, because not only because I'm a fan, but just the fact that I do believe that they can, with the experience and the future that in the vision for the future that they do have, I do believe that they'll be able to get it done. All right, you spoke it into existence. Can't wait to see what Big Pete does for our team. I can't wait as well, man. I'm really, really excited to see what they can do. And I mean, I think the future is bright. The future is always bright. All right, so okay, let's see. I got my O's up with us. Let's see how we bring this in. All right, all right. Oh, are
Hey.
you in the chat? Oh, are we in? Okay. What's good, Kakui? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, man.
I don't know.
How exciting, huh?
Can I hear you? Oh, you are talking though. Oh, there you go. I turned you
good
down
now?
one mix. There you go. I can hear you.
Okay,
What's up,
cool.
Kakui?
Oh, not much. Just, man, been waiting for this day for a long time. A competent
Yeah. Nah, for reals though. I mean, it's crazy because everybody wanted Ben Johnson. I did too. He wasn't my number one guy, but I wouldn't have minded Ben Johnson. But Pete Carroll being the second option, I don't think it was that bad at all. And then just to kind of hear him speak today, it kind of made me a little bit more at ease about his age, I guess. But moving forward. Oh, you still there, Oos?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, yeah. But hearing him today kind of made me even more at ease. But I guess how do you feel about this and everything? Just the Pete Carroll hiring and even bringing in John Spytek.
Well, first, I was actually shocked we got John Spytek because he was the top possible candidate. And, he is a first-time GM, though. Like last year when AP was a coach and they're talking about promoting Champ Kelly, and Mark Davis said he didn't want to pair up a first-time GM with a first-time coach. Well,
Yeah.
now he's got the experienced coach instead of a unexperienced coach. So the roles are like flipped. But like, I mean, I wouldn't put it past Pete Carroll if he could just run the entire team himself. But you got John Spytek there who has all the scouting experience. And I think it's a really good combination. And like you said, you know, Pete Carroll wasn't like the like, well, we don't know if like what choice he was. And a lot of
Yeah.
people did want Ben Johnson. Like, I would have been cool with Ben Johnson. Like, I would have been cool with Liam Cohen, even though he turned out to be a snake. But
Yeah.
like, I think Pete Carroll was the safest pick you could go with. And like right
Yeah.
now, the Raiders, they can't really afford the gambling. Like, they've gambled way too long. It's time to get a safe pick.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And that's why I like it though, because I don't think the Raiders needed the next guy or the new big thing, I guess. But I felt like the Raiders definitely needed somebody that had experience and that could coach up a team and has won before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But real quick, I do have a. Oh, okay, I got the other Usopp in here. All right, let's bring him in real quick. I got Joe. Joe Moore.
Oh,
What's up,
Morning,
gentlemen?
what
What's
is going
good, Us,
on?
man? Hey, we're just chilling right now, man. Hey, I got a super chat real quick that I want to get to. Shout out to this Mons 69 for the 499. He says trade Mayor for DK, sign Chris, draft Carter and Dart Raiders. Okay.
What do we think that Michael Mayer's worth? Like, do we really think that Mayer's worth that much?
I think he's
Come on.
worth something. I do think that he is worth something though, but I think
Maybe
when you pair, I don't think that you could easily just get DK for Michael Mayer straight up. But if you're giving up like a third round pick and Michael Mayer and something else, then I think that'd be possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
if Michael Mayer still wants
But
to play football, you don't know all the stuff that he's been going down through on the outside.
Yeah, he did have some stuff going on that we don't know about, and they surprisingly kept it pretty secretive. Like, usually stuff gets leaked out, but this, for some reason, didn't.
yeah, and I know a lot of people have talked about Chris Godwin as well. So I mean, I wouldn't mind that as well. But right now I'm just excited for having these two guys up in the room right now. And I know we say the same thing every single year, but it feels a little different, man. Maybe I'm just being biased. Maybe I'm just having a little bit of hope. But
Hey,
what do
I
you think?
don't know if you saw it, but
Rob?
I was like, we need to fire Pete already because not one time in this whole hour that he talked did he yell Raiders. Like, how are you going to be the head coach of the
Bro,
Raiders and not yell Raiders?
Somebody else did
that's
that for
true.
him.
Yeah, but see, he was supposed to say it back though.
Yeah, that's true.
Nah, it's crazy. So, hey, Joe, I know you've been doing your thing as well, man. How do you feel about the move, and also how did you feel about the press conference? Did it make you feel any better?
Oh, the Raiders, I don't know what the Raiders do, but every year they get us to bite right back in, right? Like, I'm excited. Like, I'm like, hey, we already know what's going to happen in the Super Bowl. Screw that. Let's get the season started for next year. Like, I'm ready to go. Hey,
Yeah,
we already know basically what Pete Carroll's all about. Like, we've seen Pete Carroll, especially Kukui, like he watched him at USC. You watched him in Seattle. We already know what Pete Carroll's about. I wanted to hear John Spytek. And John Spytek came across as a very smart individual. And you know what stood out to me, and I already put this up there, I already put a video up, is the way he said he was going to build this team. He's going to build it through the draft, and he wants to give players their second contract. What? What? We don't know what a second contract is in Raider Nation. Every
And if
time
we
we
do,
see
it's
somebody go for a
multi-color.
player contract, they're on another team.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah. No, did you guys watch the John Spytek? He did like a not a live stream, but like a recording with some Tampa Bay fans.
I didn't
No, I
watch
didn't
it.
see it.
It was pretty cool. He talks about what it takes to like build a team, and like obviously he was there when before they got Brady, so like to build up a team to get to that point where, okay, now you're literally a quarterback away from winning a Super Bowl. Let's go out and get that quarterback, and then
Yeah,
after that is okay, now they had the decision. Tom Brady retired. They had to like take on all the cap hits from all these players that they got because they more like semi mortgaged their future to win now. But then he said, we decided we're going to take all the cap hits in 1 year. We're just going to do it all and get it over with. He goes, I went to the scouting team and I told them, I was like, all right, look, you got to draft player or you got to find us players that are going to start day one. They need to know that they're going to be contributing to this team like as soon as they get drafted. They're not going to be trying out. They're not sitting on the bench. Like they're ready to go. And they still got a 9-win team after they went to a rebuild. So he has the know-how to like rebuild or retool a team, and he has the know-how or the experience of okay, we're there. We're just one player away. Let's bring in this one player.
Yeah, and that's what I took from the press conference too. Exactly, kind of what you're saying is, it sounded like Pete and John both know they got their work cut out for them with this roster. Like they know they're not coming in here like blowing smoke up our asses, going, "Hey guys, we're gonna win next year right away." No, they know they got to fix it up and they got to bring some players in here. And like I said, I think Pete did a real good job of saying we need to buy in and like when he said that him and John Spytek are going to make decisions together. We haven't heard that in a long time, right? Even like when Gruden, remember Gruden and Mayock, they were like, "No, I'm 51%. I'm the final decision."
Yeah.
No, like this is what we talked about. Like Tom Telesco and AP never were on the same page. They always threw each other under the bus in press conferences.
Yep.
Finally, we have a building that seems like they're going to be on the same page, and they have one goal, and that's to turn this franchise around. And it's good to have I hate to say it because I'm not grown up myself, but adults in the building, right? Like we're immature as hell, all three of us right here. Finally there's a guy that's going to keep people in check. But hey, Pete Carroll said if we want to know about what the Raiders are doing, he wants to bring people in and teach them. There's three of us right here. Pete, come on, bring us in.
Shoot, I know, man. It's just crazy to me that going through another rebuild, I guess, kind of like a rebuild or a new regime after just a season like last year. We just did this whole thing last year, and like even before the whole thing kind of went off today, I was talking to the chat. I was like, man, watch them bring up the history of the Raiders, and it feels great to be a part of a storied franchise, and can't wait to turn it all around to becoming great again or whatever. And I was like, bro, Spytek hit it right out of the park with it, man. I was like, man, we hear the same shit all over again. But I always have optimism with this team though, man. But what do you think? Okay, so what do you think is the next moves like after this though? Like, I mean, who's your guys' favorite coordinators? I guess I'll ask Joe first. If you were to hire an offense coordinator and defense coordinator.
Well, if I was going to bring an offense coordinator in, I would want somebody that's been in the NFL before and done it. But I know some people won't like this name, Chip Kelly, who just won a national championship, right, in Ohio State. Josh McCown, former Raider quarterback, Josh McCown told everybody, he told the world that Jamarcus Russell was no good, right? He told everybody that. He's over there in Minnesota. Or, I mean, the name that we'll probably get is going to be Bevel, and I don't mind it. I mean, a veteran offensive coordinator who's done work, and he can come in here and do it. And he spent time with Miami just the last year, but he was Pete Carroll's man when he was in Seattle. So as long as you know what, those are offense. We need to get the offense on track. I don't worry about the defense as much because I know Pete will take care of that.
Yeah. What about you?
I think Daryl Bevel, like if you're going to be safe, like he was his coordinator for like 6 years in Seattle. Like that's a long time. And yeah, he got fired. Like not very many NFL guys keep their job 5 or 6 years. To be able to maintain some type of consistency might be a good thing for the Raiders. I wouldn't be mad if they got Daryl Bevel. But at the same time though, like Pete knows enough football. Like he's a defensive guy, but you think that guy doesn't know offense? Like he could get a young guy in, and he could work with them, and they could get something going together too. So I'm not really worried about the coordinators as much. Like somebody like if AP, like he had to lean heavily on his coordinators because he didn't have a whole lot of or he didn't have any coaching experience or like head coaching experience. So like I think whoever Pete Carroll brings in is going to be more of a compliment to what his thoughts are, anyways.
We don't need to hire advisors.
Wait, what?
We don't need to hire like 3 or 4 advisors to tell Pete Carroll what to do.
I mean,
well, you talk about advisors that made the playoffs or won Super Bowls.
Like
I don't think that really helps.
Marvin Lewis, Tom Coughlin. We don't need all these guys.
Nah.
Nah.
But you know what wouldn't hurt though? Just having a dude upstairs, like up in the just up there, like managing the clock, like not managing, but like letting them know, like, hey, like you got like X amount of time, like you might want to start like conserving some, like running the plays a little bit quicker or something. No, just because like when you're on the field, like you're trying to get everything going, like you don't have somebody there like to like pay attention to the clock that like closely.
No, I know.
Hey.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, for me, real quick, like one name that I didn't even hear a lot, but somebody brought it up in like some of my other videos, which is why I brought it up. Was probably bringing Byron Leftwich out. Would you guys be opposed to that as an offense coordinator?
I'm like I said, I'm not opposed to anybody because I know that Pete Carroll has his like knowledge and his system, and whoever he brings in is going to be a complementary piece to his system. So I wouldn't be opposed to bringing in Byron Leftwich.
Yeah,
it's him, and then I know Wink from Michigan to run the defense. Like I look at looking at the future of the team. That's why, to me, like getting an offense coordinator that I could see as a head coach, potential head coach for the future. That's the only reason why I kind of look closely at it. But then hearing Pete Carroll talk today, man, he seems like he can still run. He can still run things, for a couple more years, man. Like he had more energy than John Spytek out there, dog. And I was like, hey, man, hey, age is just a number, dog. You see Andy Reid's fat ass over there going to the Super Bowl at 66 years old. So, I mean, I think Pete Carroll can do some things over here. You know what I mean?
Hey, but if you look at the 4 coaches like in the AFC West, like if you lined them all up and asked like who's going to have the longest longevity in life, not just because like they look old or whatever. Like Pete Carroll looks like he could go another 10, 20 years. Like Andy Reid at 66, he doesn't look like the healthiest dude. Like,
yeah, but Andy Reid don't have no stress. That's what it is. Like,
hey, when you know the script already, when you know the script at the beginning of the season, you relaxing the whole year, dog. He's like, oh man, we chilling this year. We gonna be there, dog.
Yeah, we only losing 1 game this year. We good. We all right.
The hardest thing is making it look real, dog.
Believable. Like
making it look believable out there, dog. That's the hardest part of the job.
Do you think he got the script? Was like, hey, these winning the games by 1 score is getting like a little too close for comfort for me.
Yeah, but I mean they'll find a way though. I mean I didn't watch yesterday's game though, but like I seen everything that everybody's posted. I seen Joe posted them too, but I was like, damn, of course. I just had a feeling like it was just gonna happen, dog. Because whoever we root for now I know we're all hoping for the Eagles, but I can't even put I feel like I think they want him to be the first one to win 3 in a row, which kind of sucks for us though. But
yeah,
it just sucks. So I just thought we'd be competitive this year. That's the thing.
I think Sean McDermott outthinks himself, and he's definitely not going to outcoach Andy Reid, but he tries. And like when because they got the extra point and they got a penalty, they decided to take the extra point off the board and then go for 2. They failed, and now the next time they score, they go for 2 again and failed. And then now you're putting your then you go up by 5 now. If you're up by 7 instead of 5, Andy Reid wasn't going to go for 2. He would have went to tie the game. And there's your 3 points right there that he outcoached himself out of. Like, you just like I don't think Pete Carroll is going to get outcoached by Andy Reid, and they might go back and forth, but just when I saw that yesterday, I was like, dude, like you got James Cook, you got potentially the MVP and Josh Allen, you got your coach like making bad choices, and that's the difference in the game right there.
Yeah.
And
No, that's true.
listening to what Pete Carroll said today, like he said some like I know a lot of people weren't like they probably like zoned out on the press conference because it
He
was a
ran a little
very
long.
but the way he was talking about like teaching, we're gonna get everybody in here, we're gonna teach them, and if I'm not teaching them the right way and we're not having fun, like that's the kind of things you want to hear from a head coach, like that he's gonna take his time with each player, he's gonna find out how to get the best out of each one of them, and not just certain ones, and that's what I kind of like
Yeah.
out of Pete Carroll is we're gonna be a well coached team that plays more than just
Yeah.
one quarter a game or one half a game. It's going to go all the way through, and he wants people on board. And Spytek said the same thing, on board from exactly what they're thinking all the way down. And if you're not thinking the same way, and if you're not wanting to compete the same way, they already said get the hell on out of the building. They'll get you on out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I like that though too because he also and I've heard this before. Like it doesn't really matter about the accomplishments you have. What your what's the word? Well, I mean, where you stand on the team, no matter where you're drafted at or whatnot. As long as you love the game, I think that's what he's gonna go for the most, and then he's gonna put the right people in place, the right players, or the players that he sees do good in practice on the field, the best 11 man on the field on the offense and the defense. And I mean, we've seen it time before with the teams that he's played for or coached up. The Seahawks, they had a lot of misfits on their team, man. That not a lot of people would have thought could be superstars. I mean, look at Russell Wilson for example. Like he was a guy that was just another quarterback that was brought in to be a backup to Matt Flynn when they had Matt Flynn, and he outplayed Matt Flynn and the priest. I mean, in the offseason,
Yeah.
ended up becoming the starting quarterback, and the whole history with that. And then even all the other guys that they brought together, that whole draft class was, if you remember that draft class with Russell Wilson, Richard Sherman, and all of them was ranked one of the worst draft classes, in history or something like up to that point. And then they ended up becoming the best draft class for that year, and then
Yeah.
kind of turned into the Legion of Boom and stuff like that. But if there's anything that, like Joe said, that we could take away from this today was the fact that they're looking at players and gonna look to bring the best out of them, and that really makes me excited because you look at Max Crosby, a guy that's been wanting change over here. Like I'm just excited to see what he could do for this team moving forward, though.
Hey, they showed Max standing there. Did you see his face?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked German, Deuce.
No, I think people are gonna blow it up and they're gonna be like, he was just standing there, he wasn't excited. Well, one, because Max kind of learned his lesson last year, not to back and go
Yeah,
out
not to
there
be too
and get into front office news and be all that. He knows that, hey, I'm just gonna be a player. And two, Max still needs to buy into Pete Carroll. He still needs to talk to them. He needs to go and talk to him, and they need to pay the man. If you want him, you got to pay the man. And I know a lot of Raider
I think
fans are
that's
like, "Oh, he's under contract for until 2026." In the NFL, a guy like Max Crosby ain't going to put his body on the line for no guaranteed money.
Yeah, and knowing Max Crosby too, he's a guy that goes out there plays 110%, who's like on the field all the time. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing is the contract with him and whether or not Pete and them is going to be able to do it. I think we have the money to do it though, but if we really want to be serious about Max Crosby moving forward, then you got to pay the dog. What do you feel like they will get it done though?
Yeah, I don't see why, unless he voices some type of discontent, which I don't know if he would or not. Like, but unless that happened, like, why wouldn't they get it done? Like,
And
they've made the mistake before.
I saw an old interview of Spytek talking when he was with the Buccaneers about pass rushers, and when you have good pass rushers in the building, you don't let them out. And I was
Yeah.
thinking in my head, I was like, he's not going to make the same mistake that John Gruden and Mike Mayock did and ship Khalil Mack out of the building in the first
Yeah.
day. Like, unless Max comes out and says, I don't like what's going on here, get me out of here, I don't think
Yeah.
there's any way that the Raiders ship him out. Like, this, like you said, he gives 110%. He held people accountable last year on the defensive line. Hey, get here. You're practicing with me. We're running sprints afterwards. Like,
Yeah.
You want that kind of guy. That's the kind of guy
Yeah.
that I would think that would fit any kind of culture, especially a Pete Carroll kind of culture.
And I feel like if the Raiders were actually in contention, I don't think he's getting that surgery until after the season is completely over. I think he would have played through it. Like he was already playing through injuries.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. No, that's true. I know the next big question is going to be like the quarterback situation, and there's been a lot of talks, a lot of reports out there. I've been a big advocate for Mr. Unlimited, but
Jimmy G?
how do you guys feel? Nah. Oh, well, Jimmy G. Jimmy G with Pete Carroll. That would feed families, Zeus. Nah. I'm talking about Mr. Unlimited. Russell Wilson possibly coming back and reuniting with Pete Carroll here in Las Vegas. He seems to be a strong option for the Raiders. Reports saying. But how would you guys feel about that reunion here in Vegas?
I feel like it's not gonna happen. I don't think it's a good idea. Like, Pete Carroll traded Russell Wilson away, and it wasn't because he felt like Russell Wilson still had a lot in the tank and he was getting good value for him. He traded him away because he thought that like I need to move on to a new quarterback now. I don't and that was years ago. Like he didn't improve in that time. I don't think he's gonna bring him back.
Yeah, I don't know if Pete Carroll. I don't know the relationship of Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson. I'm sure they're still nice and can get along, but Russell Wilson is not the same Russell Wilson that he was a couple of years ago. And we'll talk about that. And I think Pittsburgh found that out this year when they pivoted from Justin Fields to Russell Wilson and kind of went backwards a little bit. Russell Wilson did lose the last 5-6 games of the season as a starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers with the good wide receiver and everything over there. Now, could I see the Raiders bringing him in? I don't know. Last year I said hell no. Last year I was totally against Russell Wilson because with the locker room and AP, that wouldn't have fit. There's no way that Russell Wilson's coming in here. This year I kind of feel a little bit different, but I think
Yeah, he definitely didn't fit the locker room.
No. Like Russell Wilson is a weird guy. Like if you ever listen to him,
he wasn't even his mind wasn't even in the locker room, dog.
But financially, it would have made way more sense to bring Russell Wilson in last year when he was on $1 million contract.
True.
I don't want no part of Russell Wilson. Somebody said right there. Yeah, I think. But here's what I love about the Pete Carroll hire, and I got to go pretty soon, is the connections that he's going to have. So like everybody's connected him to Russell Wilson already. This is what you get with a veteran coach that has won in the league before, and this is what you saw in Washington. This is what you see with Pete Carroll. Is he's going to use those connections to be able to connect the players and bring them in because they already know what Pete Carroll's about and what his winning ways are. And he talked about it. That's how he's going to build his coaching staff. He wants people that he's had before. So with the veteran coach, you get connections and you get players that already want to buy in and want to play for this guy because they know what he's about. And that's what we're going to see. That's what Raider Nation is going to see over the next 6 months is the difference between this free agent period and draft period with the established head coach than with a new head coach or with Josh McDaniels, a coach that nobody wanted to play for. So this is the next 6 months are going to be what really buys people in that aren't bought in already.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. I guess with that being said,
I'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
All right, Joe.
Yeah, I'm about to
get back to work.
All right. He's gonna get back to work. All right, then it was. Yeah. What do you call it? But with that, being said, at the end of the day, I am excited about this move, and I think as Raider fans, I think we expect the best or better than last year because I don't think we could get any. Yeah. But hey, I appreciate you coming on though too, man.
Thanks for having me on.
Talk a little bit and stuff like that. Maybe one of these days we'll just do like a whole live stream and stuff like that. But I know I'm going on almost 2 hours. But yeah, hey, let people know where they can find you, dog. Yeah, because I was here listening to the whole thing, which was pretty cool too. But I guess you can let people know where they can find you too, because I know you go live as well.
Yeah, on YouTube it's We Raider. That's probably the easiest one because like on Instagram, Kukui Online, which CUCUY online.
Yeah.
And then Emiliano asked if we're doing a live stream later. It's probably gonna be late at night, but probably like 8:30ish. I'm gonna try to get one in tonight.
Okay, right on. Yeah, because I know you guys always doing it too, man. So definitely go follow those Kukui, even Baker too. You know that they do their podcast. Josh be on there too. But yeah, until the next one, y'all, man. We finna be